Good morning and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Okay, so I wasn't even going to go live, but then I was like, you know what? Why not? Why not? Hell, I got to cook this morning. I got to make breakfast. So I might as well make breakfast with everyone. I mean, Scott is here, of course. Scott and my kiddo opened their gifts, and I've been having my gifts. Um, and now I'm making breakfast. I like to do Christmas breakfast. And today we're gonna be making waffles with apple. We're gonna do, I guess, apple cinnamon waffles, but also because I don't want apples because we had it for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna do peaches. So we're gonna do that together. We're gonna talk Christmas. We're gonna do stuff. We're gonna do Christmas stuff. For those who don't have anybody for the holiday, that has happened to me before because I was in the military. So it's been times where I wasn't near family and I get it. So here we are to entertain you so you're not alone on Christmas. And to give you ideas for things to cook on Christmas if you want to. Like if you want, it's easy to make like some waffles and some eggs or waffle and bacon or whatever. And it tastes good and it's healthy and with things being closed, it just makes sense. Well, half the apple then fell on the damn ground. So thank God we got a second one. So I'm gonna cut up the apples and Scott's gonna tell you about Die Hard. Scott wants to tell you about his favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard with a vengeance. So Scott, tell me, I've never seen Die Hard, by the way. Oh, and this is my Christmas outfit. It's a sriracha thing, but it literally is Christmas colored. And then I got this little jingle thing because I'm an elf on the shelf. I'm the elf on the shelf. Okay. So while I cut up this apple, again, half of it didn't hit the floor, honey. Gravity is yet still working. Um, so while I'm doing this, Scott's going to tell me about Die Hard because I've never seen it, and he said it's a great Christmas movie. Okay, I guess we don't watch It's a Wonderful Life and stuff like that for Scott. Okay, Scott, tell me, what is it? Who's in it? What are they doing?
All right. Well, first off, Die Hard with a Vengeance, the sequel.
Who knew? I was kidding, Scott. It was just me saying that.
Well, just, in case that's what people are expecting. But,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, so I can't really give you a very detailed telling of it, but I'll do my best. But yeah, I mean, this came out when I was a kid still, teenager. Starred Bruce Willis, and this is kind of his, where he became, this is where he started becoming known as the action guy. For this, I don't know what movies he might have been in, but he's really just known for being in a TV show, I think it's called Moonstruck.
I've never heard. This is not my genre.
I don't remember. It wasn't a show that I particularly liked. Starting with, I can't even remember, an actress pretty famous. I can't remember who she was at this point, but again, I never really thought much of it. And when the movie came out, I, like many people, probably didn't really think much of Bruce Willis being the star in it. I mean, he was actually kind of like a low man down the list. The original one was Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah, but it's
big action guys at the time. I think there was even some other names that they were looking for, but they finally ended up getting Bruce Willis, and they actually paid him for at the time a pretty substantial amount of money, which a lot of critics were pretty critical of. But it turned out that Bruce Willis and the producers got the last laugh on that because the movie turned out to be highly successful, grossed a lot of money, at least quadrupled, just in box office what they put into it. But just looking it up here, I mean, Bruce Willis was like one of the highest paid actors for this, and that was like a $5 million contract. So just that goes to show you how things have changed.
Well, what year was this? Because
1988.
The $5 million was a lot back then.
Yeah, so that was a lot. Now, if you get paid $5 million, you're pretty much in the background.
You gonna be over here, one of them celebrities talking about, "Oh, I gotta still work because baby, I'm poor." Because, honey, the maintenance on their house for the year is about $5 million because they be having mansions. Okay, what we've done is we just cut up apples. I just literally just sliced some apples. That's it. And before Scott gets into Die Hard with a vengeance, I'm kidding. The ingredients, so we're gonna reverse it. We're gonna flip it and reverse it. So now what we're doing is sweet stuff, right? So for our compote, I guess is what we're making, our apple compote and peach compote. And what I want. We got cinnamon, of course. I have this powdered vanilla that I'm still trying to use up that my daughter got in there. Ooh, this lid is not on all the way. I like to add just extra crap. So ground nutmeg, because it needs to taste like Christmas. I got cardamom, of course, more vanilla because one can never have too much vanilla. To stir it up, we got butter. Oh, and I also have brown sugar. Bisquick for the waffles. And on there, the recipe calls for 2 eggs, a cup of milk, which I got my milk out. And I'm going to use it later for macaroni. We got eggs, of course. And we have... it calls for vegetable oil. But also, I put cinnamon and vanilla in the waffles, too. It's like a double do it. A double do it, honey, is what we're going to call it. Okay. Back to Scott and his Die Hard. What we're going to do is just turn on this skillet here. I guess we got to drop it down. Drop it down. Ignore that I had to push everything out the way so we could do this. And, of course, we got all our cooking stuff for later on. Okay, Scott, go ahead with the Die Hardness of it all.
Yeah, well, again, it's been a long time since I last seen it. So, I'm sketchy on a lot of the details as far as trying to get a good account of it. But the basic of it is the movie mostly takes place in a high-rise building in Los Angeles, where some terrorists have taken over the building during a Christmas party. So basically, you got Bruce Willis. He plays a New York City cop.
Wait, that's why they say it's a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Because it's a Christmas party going on?
Yeah.
I always thought it was like for real. Everybody's like, oh, the best Christmas movie is Die Hard. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Okay, Bruce Willis. I mean, he did The Fifth Element, so.
Yeah, I mean, people call it a Christmas movie. A lot of people say it's not a Christmas movie because it's not Christmas themed. It just happens to happen during Christmas time at a Christmas party. So, if you're, a Christmassy kind of person, you're going to say it's not a Christmas movie. If you're just, some dude who likes action movies and you're like, yeah, this is a Christmas movie for me. So whatever, you can call it a Christmas movie, you can call it not a Christmas movie. It's Christmas Day, and we're going to talk about it.
Okay, period. Period. Okay, so we got a cop, we got a Christmas party that's been taken over by terrorists.
Yeah, so, Bruce Willis, he's a New York City cop. So he's in Los Angeles going to this Christmas party because his ex-wife, actually works for this company that's having the Christmas party, the big company. And he's hoping to, reconnect with her, looking for a little Christmas nookie.
Okay.
So, she's at the party, the companies, all the people are there. There's, in this corporate building. And he's arriving, he's getting there, he's late to the show. I don't know if he's late, but, he's showing up. He's showing up in style, he's coming in a limo. The limo driver ends up being a bit of a part of the movie too. He along the way ends up helping Bruce and
who plays that part?
I don't remember the guy's name, or can't even tell you anything else.
I'm gonna cut up another apple because this does not look like enough apples to me. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
But anyway, Bruce shows up to the party with his limo driver. Driver drops him off, but he's kind of hanging out. I think they're in the parking garage, maybe.
Why does he go in a limo? That's like differently different to go to a company Christmas party.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, again, I don't remember exactly, but my guess is, you didn't have Ubers back then. He probably flew in and he hired a car service, and they had a limo to take him from the airport to the party. But again, I don't recollect that exact detail, but that's what I'm going with here. But anyway, at some point before he gets there, and again, it's been a while, so my details and timeline is a little sketchy. But there's a group of German terrorists that end up crashing the party, taking over. They want to steal. I guess somewhere's on site, the corporation has a bunch of bonds locked up in a safe worth several $100 million.
Who just keeps bonds? What kind of company is this? Is this the military?
No, it's a Japanese company, I think. It has like a Japanese name, I think.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, we're like, some reason these bonds are untraceable, so they're kind of like your old school crypto kind of like. It's like they get their hands on these bonds, and it's good as having like cash. No one's ever going to be able to trace it back to them. Blah blah blah. So it's big deal. They want to get their hands on this, so they take everyone at the party hostage.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
And Bruce shows up and something's not right, and then he figures out something's going on.
Okay, wait, hold up. We're gonna put some cinnamon. And again, we don't measure here. We go with taste. We gonna jingle and put some of this vanilla on there. Vanilla powder though. Not honey, we about out of this. And it's already starting to smell like Christmas. Can you smell it, Scott? We're going to take a little bit of nutmeg. Don't go crazy. And really don't go crazy with this cardamom because this stuff is strong, honey. It's like Bruce Willis at this party, I guess, eventually. Just a tab. I never tell measurements, but you want to just keep it real simple with that. And also, we're going to put a little vanilla in there. Okay, go ahead, Scott. Could you open this?
Yeah, so anyway, I mean, it's a good movie. It's fun. It's action-packed. You got to watch it to see all the details. But basically, it just goes through, your basic action movie. There's nothing, even at the time, probably wasn't too innovative as far as something crazy plot twist necessarily. But, you see it now, you definitely see some things coming. But, it's the movie goes through, and the bad guys are doing their bad guy things, and Bruce Willis is sneaking through the buildings and climbing through ceilings and elevator shafts, trying to get to help everybody out. The LAPD is brought in at some point. They're like a little skeptical for some reason about what's going on. They don't necessarily believe it at first, but then they do, and then the FBI gets involved.
Oh, not the FBI, y'all.
So it's a series of twists and turns.
So it looked like the Diddy raid. Don't forget the brown sugar, y'all. Oh, a big. I thought that. Oh, that's correct.
Bruce and the police trying to get to him. The bad guys doing their things, blowing things up, and killing people, and shooting and moving to different places with hostages, and trying to evade and escape. Which all culminates, to the end. Of course, what happens is the last hostage, and I think the bad guy somehow figured out his ex-wife and him. They figured out who he was, and they figured out who the ex-wife was, and that they were, related. So they figured she's a high-value hostage. So she ends up being the one that they're trying to escape with, and using her as their leverage to get out.
So wait, you mean to tell me they figured all that Germans in the 1980s with no Wi-Fi, no Siri, no Alexa, no internet really, because in 1988 we were not, you ain't had no American Online, none of that. Figured out who the man's wife was?
Yeah, I think somehow they figured it out. Like a news report, there's a TV on there, and time the news came on, and somehow through the news report they were able to put the pieces together of how they were connected. Again, it's been a while. I don't know the exact details of it, but somehow that news report helped them link the two together.
Okay, Brucey Boo.
So they knew he was a high value hostage because he was their number one, opposition.
Like the children.
They were just the FBI and the LAPD were just kind of like gnats to them, but this guy was really kind of bringing it down. And then, I forget exactly where, but at some point the limo driver comes in and he makes a big, somehow he's in the right place, in the right position to thwart something going on.
Period.
He does his thing, so he has his big moment. Of course, he shows up in the right places there at the end to take him away, whatever. But again, watch the movie, see all the twists and turns and the action and all that. But it comes to the end. I think they somehow made it to the roof on top of the building somewhere with the main terrorist and the wife. And again, I forget all the exact details, but it comes down to the terrorists. They get him. They have him on the ropes, but he's gonna take the wife down with him, like they were falling, or he's able to hold on to the wife somehow.
Who, Bruce Willis or the guy?
The German.
Oh, okay.
They had him on the ropes. They had Bruce Willis on the ropes at one point. They're like, oh, they're about to kill him. And he's kind of surrendered, but then all of a sudden, he pulls out a secret gun that he has to
girl.
To his back,
yes, Bruce.
and then shoots the bad guy a couple times, but of course he doesn't kill him. So the bad guy's holding on. He knows that the end is kind of near, but he's going to take someone out with him, so he's able to grab the wife. And I don't remember. I think they're falling through a glass ceiling or something. But he was able to grab onto the wife somehow and hold on to her for dear life. And I think he might even hold on to a watch somehow. I don't know. It was kind of weird, but.
Okay, Bruce.
So Bruce Willis is able to get in there and unclasp the watch, and then the guy falls to his death. And
Lord!
Wife is saved. And,
yes, girl.
of course, somewhere's in there was a FBI helicopter that was coming in to do something. The bad guys were able to take out the helicopter, blow it up. And so this, it's your good old fashioned. If you like action, it's a good movie. What pretty much propelled Bruce Willis as an action star for that. Like I said, I haven't done anything except for maybe a TV show, Moonstruck, which I didn't really know much about. I might have seen a little bit of some episodes, but I don't remember it being a real action type show. It was more like a romance type thing, but I don't remember. But anyway, that's kind of where Bruce Willis started. Like I said, they gave him a lot of money, and the critics were like, "This is crazy. Why are you giving this guy all this money?" And it turns out, the movie just made a ton of money just off the box office. Not to mention, over the years, all the residuals. Who knows what's made up to this day? But it's one of the more popular movies, and even call it a Christmas movie or not a Christmas movie, it's still to this day considered a top Christmas movie among many people. So good on them. And, maybe a Bruce Willis fan.
Period. Did Bruce end up getting what he came for, which was some nookie from the wife?
Yeah. He saved her life.
You never know. We've been watching 90 Day Fiance. And some people just be acting like, okay? It's not always guaranteed. But I guess in this movie, there's a happy ending, literally and figuratively. Period. And it's Christmas. Okay, so what we're doing over here is here go them apples, baby. We frying apples. We just kind of render them down and getting some of that. You see this juice. Okay, I didn't have cornstarch. You should probably use cornstarch because it'll thicken it up. I didn't have it. They like it though. Just I promise they're gonna still come out good. But If you want like a thicker sauce, go ahead, bring you some cornstarch in there. We're about to start the phase of waffles. And while we're doing that, okay, so Scott, you're done with your part, the Bruce Willis part, the Die Hard part. Okay. So we're gonna do 1 egg. I'm sorry, y'all, because I only did half because we don't need the whole. Well then, you know what? For me, my Christmas story will be the Christmas story. What started it all? Baby Jesus, baby Jesus child, baby Jesus, and how he came into being. Now look, I am a child who grew up within the church, Sunday school, and they even sent me to Catholic and Lutheran school. So I do know the story, but I ain't looked at that story in like so long. So excuse me, I'm gonna probably do it just like Scott. I'm about to miss some parts. Hey, if I miss some parts, you go right down in the comment section and tell me what you heard, honey. Even for Scott's Bruce Willis Die Hard story, Die Hard with a Vengeance story. Go ahead, go get down in there. Let us know where we skip some things. But in the meantime, in between time, we gonna talk about baby Jesus, honey, and how baby Jesus came into vogue, baby, how he manifested himself right on this planet with the help of his daddy, God. Period. Wait, but before we do that, let me make sure. Okay, I don't want that one. Okay, so boom. I don't know if people know about the Old Testament, but the Old Testament had been predicting for a long time that, hey, y'all, you know, right now, y'all are encased in sin because of Adam and Eve and whatnot. And, you know, we gonna talk, we got the remedy for that. We got the remedy. And it's gonna be in the Savior. I'm gonna put this back in the fridge. It's gonna be in the Savior, honey. He comes. Okay, he comes. He gonna come and he gonna knock that serpent on the head. He gonna hit that serpent, baby. So okay, and the serpent gonna try to snip at his heel. I believe it says that. So eventually God is like, okay, it's time because, honey, this is crazy. This is crazy what we got going on. Jesus needs to get on out there, honey. He needs to come out into vogue, baby, and you know, and do the thing for the people. So he seeks out a proper vessel, and girl, guess who he find? Mary. He had been watching her. He was like, girl, I've been watching you. Okay. So he had watched Mary. Mary was the perfect vessel. She was, I don't know what made her the perfect vessel. Again, it's been a long time. But for some reason, God saw her and he said, that's the one. So Mary was married, though, to Joseph. So God had to, you know, do what people have to do. And he had to send something to Joseph like, look, this lady gonna get pregnant. And I know it ain't your baby. It's my baby. He sent the angel down. I think Michael. And Michael had to tell Joseph, like, this is not your kid, sir. We get it. We own it. We got it. However, comma, space. This baby that she about to have, that everybody gonna think you the daddy of, is the Messiah. So don't go nowhere. Hold on to your hats. Hold on, baby. Because, sir, this is gonna be something that you ain't never experienced before, that you never thought you could. So Joseph was like, cool, gang. I mean, okay, if God say that he gonna, you know, that this kid gonna be a Messiah and I ain't got nothing to worry about, then I ain't gonna worry about it. What do you think about that, Scott? What if an angel came down and told you I was gonna get pregnant with a Messiah? What would you do?
That would be interesting.
Would you hang in there?
I mean,
Would you stay? Would you go?
I mean, I'd look like a pretty bad guy in a new Bible if I ran away.
Period. So Scott would stay. And I hope any person out there who got that message was that. So, okay. So, whatever. So Mary, the Holy Spirit gets with Mary. I don't know how we did it. I don't know what happened. But boop, she pregnant, honey. This is before pregnancy test, but she knew she was with child. She just knew. She knew. So Mary's with child. So it comes where I think they had to go do the census. The reason why they were in Bethlehem was because they had to go do the census. Now, the census ain't like it is today. I don't even know if you people realize that we still do censuses. But you mail in like a little postcard nowadays for that census. But back then, honey, you had to go all the way to Bethlehem because much like Die Hard in the 80s, now this is like 0 CE. Girl, they did not have Wi-Fi. They did not have cell phones. They did not have computers. Honey, they didn't even have cars. They didn't have none of it. So, they had to report to Bethlehem, even though she was big and pregnant, Mary was, so they could be part of this census because the people had to do a head count for taxes and whatever. Like the same thing that we got going on now with taxes and census. Girl, it's been going on for a very long time. So don't feel like you're the only one, honey. Because Mary, Joseph, and soon here, baby Jesus, got to be counted too, honey, because everybody counts, honey. Okay, they got to know how much money they gonna bring in, baby. So, sorry, just mixing this up. So they headed on their way to Bethlehem. Now Mary is about to give birth to this baby, and she kind of know it. Everybody know it. So they rolling now because the census is in town. If you didn't prepare, kind of like, if you going to the Super Bowl or if you going to some big event in a city, if you going to Mardi Gras down in New Orleans, if you going wherever, like if you don't have your hotel booked. So I don't know why Mary and them, probably because they ain't had no internet, no cell phones. Like, how the hell do you book it if you don't live there? Or they must have got there late, but there was no hotels for them. Like, there was no hotels. Now, Mary is up in here, like, contracting. I don't know if anybody out there has given birth, but baby, you ain't trying to give birth while traveling. It just is not an ideal situation. So this woman is about to give birth. They trying to find a hotel. Ain't no hotels because everybody, I don't know who all was there, but clearly there was a lot of people there and there was no hotels left. So they scrambling around trying to get them a hotel. Meanwhile, on the other side, I don't want to say the world because they didn't know the whole world at this point. On the other side of whatever continent of the Middle East continent, you got 3 wise men called the Magi. They looking at the constellations. They like, girl, what's this big old star over here, girl? What's this star? Oh, girl, we got to look through our books. Let me get this cookbook. Let me get this Patty cookbook. They was like, girl, this from our almanac says that the Messiah supposed to be born. And if we follow this star over here, girl, we going to go meet him. Let's get these gifts together like I did for today's event. Let's get these gifts together. This is a Messiah. Let's look in the book and see what Messiah's like. Okay, they like myrrh, gold, and frankincense. Period. So let's gather it up. Let's gather up our little caravan, baby, and we on our way to go follow this star over here. I'm gonna kill these cats, by the way. They're not bringing in Christmas joy. So anyway, let's follow this star up here, and let's go see this Messiah, baby, and let's take these gifts there too, because he here. So they get on, honey, and they marching their way to Jesus. Meanwhile, Mary and Joseph still trying to find them somewhere to stay, child. They ain't got nowhere to go. Okay, we're gonna do these peaches now. And I'm gonna use the same pot because it's really the same ingredients. So why make more dishes? Because I gotta cook later on too. So they said, well, we gotta figure this out because this woman is about to give birth. So they found they some kind of way went to a major with, I think, horses and cows and stuff. And they said, girl, can we get in here? This woman about to have a baby. We got to do this census. We didn't ask for this, but we have to do this. And so they got the major. So in there, Mary is like, and girl, she get that baby out. She get that baby out. She get that baby out. And that star that the Magi and them were looking at, the star, the drinking gourd, the North Star, it wasn't that. That's a different tale. It lands right on over that major where Jesus and Mary and Joseph were. So Mary's coddling that baby. She's like, oh my God, what a gift. And, here come the Magi. Boom. They like, we heard the Christ child is here. We heard the Savior was born here. So they adorn him with all the gifts and the fun stuff. And they're marveling. Oh, that was a lot of cinnamon. They're marveling in, the hope, the joy. They bring him gifts. So if you ever wonder why we do some of the traditions we do, I mean, you can go look at Queen Victoria. She's also the reason why you get married the way you do too. But also you have to look into the story of Jesus, because Jesus came through humble beginnings. The man was born with sheep and cows and stuff around him, but his circumstances did not stay that way. He became he's hot on the scene. He's the reason for this season right now. So he had the humble beginnings. He had, even though he was humble, the world still anticipated him and loved him and wanted to bestow gifts on him. So if you guys ever wonder why we do some of the traditions, if you ever feel like, oh, Christmas should only be every 5 years, you have to go into the history of why we celebrate the way we do. Now, are we celebrating the same way Mary and Joseph did? Absolutely not, because times have changed and different, people, have different technologies, different concepts, yada, yada, yada. This is why you have to go look at Queen Victoria to see why you're doing the trees and all this fun stuff, these trees and stuff. But yeah, that is the story of Jesus, Joseph, Mary, how Jesus got here. It's a quick story because it's not like everybody kind of knows it, but it's not long. But you want to think more so into the why. Like, he was born in a manger. He wasn't born, in a palace. And that says something like, be humble. And even if you have humble beginnings, understand that you're still a gift. And also, these wise men did not know Jesus, but they still brought him gifts and treated him like he was special. So do that for other people who you find special. Give them gifts. Give them what you think they want. Yeah. And spend time with your family. Like, even Joseph, Mary, and Jesus, honey, they was in there with horses pooping everywhere and smelling like nothing, but they still spent the time together as a family, and they still were happy and they were excited and filled with hope. So do the same. Even if you ain't got no family, even if you in rough circumstances, it's a good day. It's a day of hope and love and sharing. So share it with yourself, baby. What else we got? Because I'm still cooking. I ain't done. I will tell y'all the story of It's a Wonderful Life, because that was my dad's favorite, but I have not seen that story in so long, and I wouldn't ruin it for you. But nonetheless, we're going to let you go, because really all I have to do now is take these things. I'm going to put them on our little waffle iron thing, and I'm just going to top these peaches that you can't really see that are sizzling, or they can top these apples that I've rendered down and flashed all that cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, vanilla goodness in, and butter, child. Everything tastes good. And that's gonna be that. So what I'll do is what I always do, and I will post pictures, which I never post. I take the pictures and never post it, but I will post it in the comment section. Hey, post it in the not the comment section, in the section where I can like post the post section. But get in the comments, like, share, subscribe, get in those comments. Tell us what you're doing for Christmas. Tell us what gives you hope. Tell us whatever you want. Tell us your favorite Christmas story, or recommend Christmas stories for like next year, or hell, we can do Christmas in July. But get down in there. Let us know. You guys have the merriest Christmas from our family to you and yours. Have a Merry Christmas. and we'll see